So first off, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. My name is Kory Honea. I am the Sheriff of Butte County, and I am here this evening to provide you with an update on the investigation of the shooting that occurred earlier this afternoon at a school here in Butte County. I want to begin by telling all of you that we're still very early in the investigation. The information that I am providing for you today is the best information that I have, but recognize that as we move forward in the investigation, the information I provide tonight may change, and we may get clarification, and as we do that, we'll provide that information for you, but I'm going to tell you what we can tell you tonight, and then subject to revision going forward. So, at approximately 1:08 p.m. this afternoon, the California Highway Patrol began to receive 911 calls from a school located here in Butte County. That school is the Feather River School of the Seventh-day Adventists, which is located on Cox Lane and Highway 70 just outside of Oroville. The calls went to the California Highway Patrol because they were made from cell phones, and it's not uncommon for a 911 call placed from a cell phone, which is in close proximity to a highway, to be routed first to the California Highway Patrol. The dispatch of the California Highway Patrol were advised that there was an active shooter on the campus. They immediately transferred that call to the Butte County Sheriff's Office. Our dispatchers received that transfer at approximately 1:09 p.m. and immediately dispatched deputies. In addition to transferring the call to the Sheriff's Office, the California Highway Patrol also dispatched their officers. And the first officer on scene was a California Highway Patrol officer. That officer arrived on scene at 1:10 p.m., about 2 minutes after the original call came in. That officer immediately went on to campus. There he was directed to an area of the campus by staff and students and located an adult male. That subject was deceased and appears to have a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The Highway Patrol officer located a handgun near that individual's body and secured that firearm. Deputies from the Butte County Sheriff's Office arrived at approximately 1:14. From that point forward, the deputies who were on scene, as well as the CHP officers who were on scene, began to do two things simultaneously. One was to render medical aid to two students who had sustained gunshot wounds, and began to search the campus and classrooms to ensure that there were no other individuals who posed a threat to the students or the faculty. As I noted, there were two students who sustained gunshot wounds. Both boys, 1'5", 1'6", both attended the school and were in kindergarten. Those two children were transported to local hospitals. They are currently in extremely critical condition, and they're being treated by the medical staff. I'm thankful that they are still alive, but they have a long road ahead of them, and I would certainly hope that you would all keep them in your thoughts and prayers as we move forward. As I said, the deputies and CHP, once they searched the campus to determine if there was any other threats, once that was secure, they began to move the students who were in various locations through the campus into the school's gymnasium so that we could secure them there and protect them there. Eventually, once the scene was secure and we had enough personnel, a school bus was brought to the campus. The students, there were about 35 of them in total, were loaded onto the school bus, and those students were transported to the Nazarene Church here in Oroville, which is where we set up a reunification center so that those students could be reunified with their parents and family members. We had BCSO personnel present to assist with that reunification, but in addition to that, we had crisis counselors from the Butte County Behavioral Health Department. We had law enforcement chaplains. We had representatives from the Nazarene Church, all there in an effort to provide support to those children. In addition to that, we had advocates from our district attorney's office, and in a moment I will allow our district attorney Mike Ramsey come up and give you a little bit of information about that, followed by Special Agent in Charge Sid Patel to tell you what the FBI's role is, which I'll highlight here in a moment. Once the scene was secure, of course, the investigation was launched. This is a complex investigation. We requested the assistance of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They have provided some assistance in terms of processing the scene for evidence, and again, I'll let Special Agent in Charge Patel tell you a little bit more about that. We, at this point, believe that we have identified the subject responsible for this shooting. I am not at a point now where I can provide you with his identity because we are still in the process of interviewing people who he may have been associated with, and we have other procedural matters that we have to deal with before we make his identity known. In addition to that, we're working to essentially reconstruct this individual's activities over the course of today as well as into the past to determine why he has done the things that why he did the things that he did. We have received some information that he made an appointment to come to the school and meet with an administrator. His statement to school officials was that he wanted to explore the possibility of enrolling a family member as a student at the school. He did meet with a school administrator. I'm told that meeting was cordial. There wasn't anything about the meeting that gave rise to concerns by the administrator. And at this point, we're trying to determine the veracity of that statement as to whether or not he actually was there to enroll or talk about enrolling a student, or if that was instead a ruse to get onto the campus. We'll work to try to figure out what that was. After that meeting is when the shooting occurred, and then subsequently it appears as though he took his own life. As I've said in earlier press conferences, we have received some information that leads us to believe that the subject responsible for this shooting targeted this school because of its affiliation with the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Now, the preliminary information I have right now and what we're currently seeing leads me at this point to believe that this is an isolated incident. That said, out of an abundance of caution, we sent an alert out to law enforcement agencies throughout the state of California, advising them of this shooting and advising them that this subject may have targeted this school because of its affiliation with that particular religious organization. Our request of those law enforcement agencies was to be vigilant and make sure that those schools are safe and the students of the school are safe. We've also been in contact with leadership at the Seventh-day Adventist Church as well as the portion of their organization that oversees the schools. They're aware of that, and they're going to take whatever steps they need to ensure the safety of those students. Again, we're very early on in this investigation. At my last press briefing, I talked about how this individual arrived at the school. He arrived in a vehicle, and since that last briefing, we have identified the individual who dropped him off. It was an Uber driver, and that individual is currently being interviewed by our investigative staff or detective to determine exactly what was said or what transpired in that. But that's all the information I have right now. So at this point, we're no longer looking for that gray four-door sedan. We believe that we have that vehicle and we have the individual who drove that vehicle. All right, at this point, I think what I would like to do is turn it over to our district attorney, Mike Ramsey, for him to provide you with some information about what his office is doing to assist the victims in this case. And then we'll have Special Agent in Charge Sid Patel come up and talk about what the FBI is doing to assist us with this investigation. So, Mr. Ramsey?
Good evening. I'm Mike Ramsey, Butte County District Attorney, and basically our major emphasis here is to assist the Sheriff's Office with investigators that we have. I want to say one thing, I'm very proud of Butte County law enforcement. They all came together. There was many different agencies that were there to help out with this investigation and continue to help out with the investigation. A major portion that we have is we have a mass casualty unit of victim assistant advocates that are in the Butte County District Attorney's Office, and some also from Sutter County that came to the Nazarene Church to assist the parents there and start the process of, into the future, helping with their needs as victims of an obvious criminal action. And so that will be going on now for weeks, obviously months. Not only the children that were grievously injured, but those children that saw their classmates gunned down in front of them.
My name's Sid Patel. I'm the Special Agent in Charge for the Sacramento FBI Field Office. First of all, speaking as a parent, my heart goes out to the families and communities affected. No father, no mother should have to endure what happened today. Please know we're working hand in hand with the full force of the FBI to be able to assist the Sheriff's Department in anywhere form they need, as well as your communities. As of now, we've had our evidence response team deployed. We have our victim specialists here to help with the family members. We have our agents, our special agents that are on the field working concurrently to assist with investigative efforts. And we're doing an entire workup of the subject to get a better understanding of his motivation, ideology, what else could help understand today's situation and incidents. Again, I want to thank our law enforcement partners and the close relationship we have. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your support and assistance during this very difficult time. And I'll close my comments with the fact that here we are again in Butte County dealing with another major incident, major tragedy. And this community has endured so much over the last few years. It's hard to believe that we're back here again, but I can assure you that we're going to do everything we possibly can to figure out why this individual did the things that he did. And then, of course, moving forward, try to take care of those members of our community who have been impacted by this horrific event. I don't have much more information. I will take questions, but I need you to understand that there are areas of this investigation that I'm just not yet willing to go into because we're still early on. And when I do provide you information, I want to provide the best solid information that I can. I also want to be thoughtful about making sure that we don't do anything that would jeopardize our investigation. And